Hello folks, in today's video I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks when it comes to changing rolls or cleaning your rollers on your laminator. Alright, we're going to pull this off to get this out of our way. Something that I see a lot of the times is when people run out of rolls. This happens a lot of times, like at schools and in libraries and stuff like that, but when the operator is running the machine, they'll just run the machine completely out of film, and then they'll put their new rolls on, then they have to lace it and web the machine and everything. I'm going to show you guys a trick to not have to do that. It makes it a lot easier, and this is something we do in the shop all the time, and it's basically you never have to cut the web. There's only, really the only time you need to cut the web is maybe if you're replacing rollers or you have to do some major maintenance on the machine. But let's just pretend that this roll is close to being done, or empty, which it's not, or whatever, but just for the sake of this video, let's say this roll is empty and we need to change the roll. So before it runs out, what you want to do is cut the film before it runs out. And something I always tell everybody to do, this is a good thing to practice. You can see how I'm holding the film here. You don't want it to drop back down onto the heat shoes or the heated rollers, because there's glue on this side, right? So one thing I always tell everybody to do is take the film and put fold it back onto itself like that. So what you're doing is you're sealing that glue edge. Now what that'll prevent is it'll prevent glue from squishing out when we lace it back to each other. If you don't have the fold there, this bottom piece is going to be on the roller when it wraps around and goes back to the roller. It has the possibility to squish the glue out. So always put a fold there if you're just replacing the roll. So now that we have this disconnected, we could just pull this off and we can change the roll and put our new roll back on. Let's pretend we have a brand new roll here now. This stayed the same. And another tip is to cut the film back far enough so after you make the fold, that gravity will hold it here. You don't want this falling forward onto the bottom roll. It can create more of a mess. So make sure and cut it further back so you guys can have a little weight here to hold it back. So let's put our new roll on. Done deal. I always tell people to tap this. This is hot. Sometimes it might be over 300 degrees. Remember that. But a good trick to do is to tap this. If you guys tap this and it's sticky, you know the film's on correct. If you tap it and it's not sticky, your roll's on backwards. Flip your roll around. So basically, after you cut this and lace it to the other piece, you can just turn it on and run it through, and you now have a new roll connected. You never, do it before you run out of film. It's a lot easier to do it this way and safer on everything. So a lot of times what happens is I come to do repairs or get repairs and they've run the machine out of film, or one roll runs out first before the other one and they keep going and then it gets glued on the other roller. So just remember, if you see the rolls getting low, it's totally worth it to waste a couple feet of film, cut it here before it runs all the way out, do your change, and the same thing applies to the bottom. Another tip, always keep your big rolls on the bottom. If you have two different size rolls, keep your big one on the bottom, because that means the top one's gonna run out first, and it'll kind of be a warning for you, you know what I mean? So there's that. Let's talk about cleaning. Let's say that you have to clean the rollers. And again, you don't wanna lose that web that goes all the way back to the pull rollers there, So again, if you wanna clean the rollers, now, when we're cleaning the rollers, we have to expose. We're gonna do the top for sake of this video. You need to expose the top roller. So what you can do is you can cut the film. Now, you don't have to cut it as far back. Doesn't make a difference. You could cut it back here, but I always suggest, for just ease of training, or if you're training somebody, always have them just right on the idler. That pretty much applies for almost every machine. There's an idler bar up here somewhere, some point, and it gives them a nice straight edge. You don't want a jaggedy edge when you cut the film. You want it straight. So we'll just cut it again here. I'm holding it. Get some of this out of our way. And now if we're gonna clean it, that means we need to just pull this down. Now, this film, top and bottom roll, they're 27 inches, okay? And when we align this film top and bottom so they run straight. If I take this film and just run it straight down here, there's a chance that it could get glue on the bottom roller if the film is not aligned 100%. So I can see it's off about an 1/8 inch. So if I put it down on here, it's gonna get a little bit of glue on the side. So every time you bring this down, squeeze this in and throw it down like that. Okay, and then you could push it to here, whatever. What that does is it keeps the edges from being able to bleed over and put glue on your rollers or heat shoes. So remember, we'll do this one more time to show you guys again. And see how easy it is to lace if you guys always keep it connected. So again, we're gonna cut here, okay? And you always wanna hold what you cut because you don't want it falling back onto the rollers or the heat shoe, you know, because it has a chance of getting glue on it. So we're just gonna grab this by the edges, we're gonna pull it out, and we're gonna bring it in, okay? Just bring it in a little bit and goes right down because this is sticky on the bottom, okay? And now we have access to the roller and to the heat shoe. We can clean it. You can leave your roll on top, whatever. I know your machine's gonna be a little different. You may not have the heat shoe here, but now you have access to your top roller. You can clean it. And what this allows you to do is you can still turn the roller with the dial or whatever, you know, your control, but the web is still there. It's all connected still, right? And when you're done, all you do is you can put these back down. Ooh, that's hot. I usually have gloves on when I do this. The roll's still here. All we do is bring this back down, put it over, and go right down to the bottom, okay? And if you switch rolls, remember, do that little sticky test here, and you can feel it being sticky. Hit the go button, and now you can go. And you never lost your web. So as some of you may notice, the whole point of this, the whole trick to all of this is to never cut both at the same time. And that's, sorry, we're in a shop. The whole trick is to never cut both at the same time. You always want to leave your web, make sure you have your web, always cut one at a time. Try to always cut the roll and get rid of it before it ends. Don't ever let the machine run the roll out all the way. And when you change rolls, make sure to make that fold. If you're cleaning rolls, you don't need the fold. Just pull it down and make sure you go in. You can clean the roll, and the same thing applies to the bottom. It's just upside down, or whatever you want to call it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, post down below. If you guys need any lamination product or laminators, we sell this laminator here, OregonLaminations.com, and I'll post all those links down below. Until then, have a great day, folks, and see you on the next video.